And we are off. Oh boy, in a big way with Town Mountain live on WNCW and Studio B. Great to have you here in Spindale again, guys.
Good to be back, Joe. Thanks for having us, man.
Yeah, Life and Debt already talking about money and politics, just not even wasting any time. All right, so since you've been here, you've released a new record. You had a session here sometime back in 2018, and you were playing songs from New Freedom Blues, but then New Freedom Blues came out, and Bobby's had a record come out, and you've gotten all sorts of great gigs going on. Tell us about what's happening.
Well, we're playing in Charlotte tonight at the Visualite Theater, and we're stoked about that. It's always fun to play the Queen City, and then tomorrow night we'll be in Charleston, South Carolina, down at the beach. We love going down there and playing the Low Country and playing the Charleston Poorhouse tomorrow night, and then Saturday night we'll be back in Asheville, big hometown gig, which is always one of my most favorite things to do, play in front of our friends and being able to sleep in our beds that night, playing at the Orange Peel Saturday night. So that's what's going on most currently.
Yeah, you got a couple of acts playing with you that we're familiar with. Front Country Tonight, and we're big fans of theirs. And Dead Tongues, Ryan Gustafson in the Dead Tongues. Is he living in Western North Carolina now? Is that right?
I believe he lives in Asheville.
Yeah,
Correct.
or somewhere close
Yeah,
by.
yeah. So that's going to be neat playing at the Orange Peel. Well, you've also had some real high-profile gigs playing places like Lock-In. You've played the Grand Ole Opry several times now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we just played our 5th Opry performance 2, 3, maybe a month ago, 4 weeks ago, something like that. Yeah, that's always exciting and always an honor. And it's the nerves have diminished a little bit since time one, but it's still, you get in there and it's like it's the Grand Ole Opry. You know, it's a big deal.
Yeah, I bet you don't have stage fright anywhere but maybe a Grand Ole Opry, and you got Red Rocks coming up too. Is that right?
Yeah, it's kind of like the Grand Ole Opry for hippies.
Jesse?
I'm kidding. Yeah, that's a milestone for us. We're super excited. Last year, we were on a Colorado run, and we went and saw the Steve Martin and Martin Short performance. The Rangers got us in on their guest list, and it sat 8 rows from the front of the stage, and it was a really great show and a great experience. We all had a great time, and I'm sure we were all thinking, wow, wouldn't this be cool to play Red Rocks at some point in time? And then 3-4 months later, Tyler reaches out and says, hey, y'all want to play Red Rocks? So we said, we'll think about it. We'll get our people to get back to you. No, we jumped on it immediately, said, yes, we want to be part of this. And Robert Earl Keen is also on that bill as well.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Last time I saw Tyler Childers was at Merle Fest, and I picked White House Road as the segue for our session because backstage at Merle Fest, you've got an artist like Tyler Childers will play, and then all of the EMTs and the law enforcement will flock to see an artist like that. And the level of enthusiasm for White House Road was I don't know, ironically high with that group.
I was gonna say that's an interesting choice of songs for all the people to be involved.
They were really getting into it. It was fun to watch.
Huh. For those of you who don't know White House Road, go listen to it.
Yeah.
You'll get the joke afterwards.
Yeah. All right, we are live with Town Mountain in Studio B on WNCW. Have you got another one for us?
Yes, we do.
In Studio B on WNCW. I think that would make the soundtrack to a great, heist movie. That's you get some placement on
Getaway music.
Getaway music.
Yeah,
There you
yeah.
go. I think that's an idea. All you filmmakers out there, take note.
Yes.
So, continuing the thread of what's been going on with Town Mountain, you've got some new songs you've been working on too.
Yeah. We're all, well, I say always, but I mean, there's multiple songwriters in the band, and everybody's writing. And when we have, rehearsals, when we have them, maybe 2-3 times a year. No, we'll have new tune rehearsals, and we're in the midst of that now, working up new stuff, talking about an album, gathering material. So yeah, I mean it's on the horizon, a new album for sure. No dates are set, but.
Well, you did the last one with Caleb Clowder, recorded it here in Asheville, and that went very well. You don't have any plans on where or who to work with?
No, we don't, and that's always a fun topic of discussion amongst the 5 of us. we really don't have a clue where we're going to do it or when we're going to do it or who's going to help us produce it. But we'll almost certainly come up with some place and some person and some time to do so.
You don't have a wish list of people to work with. I mean, you've got a lot of people that you've worked with that are really notable in the music world. Is there anybody that you've got in that you would like to check off?
Not really. We really haven't gotten serious about that discussion yet. And when we do, it'll be really fun to have because we have worked with some folks we really admire in this business, and look forward to doing so in the future.
Now, your cover-to-cover series, is that still a thing?
Yeah, it is. We get a little slack with it sometimes, but we're due another one. We're overdue another tune. Jesse and I did one. Had a video recorded last time we played the Opry, and we kind of got voted down on that one. So we're gonna have to keep searching for our next cover-to-cover edition.
Which it's kind of an audience participation thing. I mean, we've chosen some songs within the band to do, but there were a couple times last year where we just threw it out there to our fans on the social media and said, hey, would y'all like to hear Town Mountain cover a tune? And if so, what would that be? So it was really fun for me to dig through that list of very, very random stuff that people were throwing at us. And so anyway, my point is, y'all get on the social medias and say, hey, I think y'all would sound good playing this tune, and who knows, maybe we'll play it.
Yeah, and you've got some of those videos up on your website at townmountain.net.
Yeah.
And over 5.5 million listens of I'm on Fire on Spotify now. And there are probably going to be many thousands more after we said that. So
it's great. That's such a great number, and it always makes us feel really good until you run into a fan and they're like, I bet 200,000 of those are mine. And it's like, okay, so there's really like 37 people that have listened to it 5 million times.
Yeah. So we got my mom, Jesse's mom. Yeah.
Yeah, I did a session with y'all that wound up being in the podcast Southern Songs and Stories, which is on WNCW now. And we got into the conversation about Wagon Wheel and how you treat requests for Wagon Wheel, which inspired me to do a whole episode on that song. Do you get any more requests for Wagon Wheel?
All the time, and it's a great tune. It's kind of a song of a generation in a lot of ways, but it's just so not obscure anymore, and we really like to play, more obscure cover tunes when we choose a cover.
Do you still treat it the same way when you get that request?
Negative.
Tell us how you treat it.
It depends on where it is and how we're feeling, But we just generally say as politely as possible that that's a great tune, but we just don't know it.
Okay.
I will say that our fans are very respectful, and they don't yell out Wagon Wheel. This is more like maybe a private event or something. But there have been times where people have come up and said, "Hey, will you play Wagon Wheel?" And we say, we will play Wagon Wheel if you will get up and sing Wagon Wheel with us. And it's happened a couple different occasions where the person pulls out their phone, pulls the lyrics up, and proceeds to sing the song. I also feel like one time we did a reggae version of Wagon Wheel. Did I just dream this?
In Tampa?
I feel like it happened at one point in time.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
It's possible.
That's great. That's great. We're live with Town Mountain on WNCW. We haven't introduced everybody yet. I think everybody feels like to me everybody should know you, but let's go ahead and get that out of the way.
Well, my name's Robert Greer. I'm playing guitar and doing some tenor singing and some lead singing.
Jesse Langley, banjo.
Phil Barker, mandolin vocals. Over here we have Zach Smith. He's without a mic. He's on the bass.
And Bobby Britt, and I'm playing fiddle.
All right, we're going to ask Bobby about his cassettes here in the next break.
Yeah, man.
But let's go ahead and get another song.
We're going to do one of those cover tunes now for you. Here's one called Lawyers, Guns, and Money.
Oh, yeah, always good to hear some Warren Zevon. And in a new way from Town Mountain Live on Studio B on WNCW.
Thanks, Joe.
Yeah, it's great to have y'all here playing tonight in Charlotte at the Visualite, heading down to Charleston the next night at the Poorhouse, and then in Asheville at the Orange Peel on Saturday.
Yep.
And then heading out west.
Yeah, we're looking forward to that trip, too. I don't want to put the horse in front of the cart here, but we're really looking forward to these 3 shows we got coming up in the region, and then and a couple days off, and then we fly out to the Pacific Northwest. And this is a mighty fine time of year to be out there. So we're doing some stuff we really like. We're playing the Pickathon Festival for, I don't know how many times we've done that, but it's always a great event to be a part of. Get to see some of our West Coast friends and family out there.
Are you going to run into Caleb Clowder while you're out there?
Maybe so. And we keep talking about Tyler will be out there with his band, and I would imagine we will run into that crew. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we haven't touched on Bobby's record because you've had a record of your own since you were here last.
Well, Bobby asked that all the questions about his new recording, which is a beautiful recording called Alea, be directed towards our banjo player Jesse Langley.
And then I'll just revert all questions back to you, Bobby.
Sure.
Okay, great.
So this won't take long at all.
Yeah. I put out an album last year called Alaya, and it was my first solo record ever. It was an amazing experience getting to pick the songs, write a couple songs, and pick the players, and it was awesome. Yeah.
I know your heart's with Town Mountain, but is that just something you wanted to get out of your system, or what was the real motivation?
Yeah, I've been with Town Mountain now for about 9 or 10 years, I think, and I am looking forward to everything we have ahead. But I also have sort of my own solo project that I've been thinking about doing pretty much my whole life and never actualized until last year. So it's nice to be able to play with Town Mountain and do some solo stuff.
Yeah, it's an excellent record.
It sure is.
Thank you.
Yeah, now, I don't know if this was a joke or not, but what is the deal with the cassettes?
No, tell him, Bobby.
So out of a couple months after I released the record, this record label out of Springfield, Missouri, like I know no one in Missouri, reached out and said, "Hey, I love your record. I want to put it out on cassette tape." And so I talked to him, and it's a labor of love. We have a lot of mutual artists that we love, like Norman Blake, The Grateful Dead, The Dead Tongues, William Tyler, kind of a wide array of stuff. And so he wanted to put apparently cassette tape is kind of a niche thing right now.
Yeah, the cassette culture, that's interesting because being
Here it
of
comes.
the generation that was all about cassettes and listening to a cassette now, I wonder why anyone would want to go to that now when there's these other options.
Don't ask Bobby Britt that.
I think there is there's a certain sound to streaming that's very crisp and clear and clean and perfect. And honestly, listening to my album on cassette for the first time recently, I really enjoy that rough. It's kind of a nostalgia for an older, slower time in the sound of a cassette. That's my experience.
Yeah, there's a far different interaction, or the way the whole thing is utilized. The way you are interacting with a cassette is far different than everything else. Records included, it's like the first really portable medium that you can just take and put it in your car,
Yeah.
and then you can make mixes out of it or on the blanks.
And another aspect of it I noticed is you kind of have to sit with that one cassette. You can't like flip between 15 different artists in 5 minutes. It's like you have to make a decision to put that tape in and go with it.
Sometimes if you got the really fancy tape deck back in the day, it would fast forward to the next song.
Oh yeah, man, that was super fancy.
Yeah. But it would still take a half a minute to forward.
And then auto reverse. Don't forget that.
Yeah.
Wonderful function.
Yeah, auto reverse. We're all about it here at WNCW with Town Mountain. Have you guys got one more for us?
Yeah, we sure do, Joe. This is one about some nonsense that happened in the great state of Arizona. We'll do it for you right now. It's one called Witch Trials in Arizona.
Town Mountain on WNCW live in Studio B. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you, Joe. It's always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you. And one other quick thing I wanted to add about our show in Charleston tomorrow night. We've got a great artist playing the show with us, Kate Rudy, who's also a North Carolina
All right.
artist.
I'm not as familiar with Kate Rudy. We're going to have to check her out then.
Yeah. Out of the
right.
Triangle area.
Good deal. Good deal. Thank you so much. Live sessions on Studio B are made possible by Sierra Nevada Brewing Company.